The online food delivery industry in the United States is projected to lose $240 billion in sales due to the coronavirus pandemic. My name is Diego Lefebvre, and today we're going to analyze the online food delivery industry by taking into consideration Uber Eats and DoorDash, two of the biggest companies in that industry. We're going to also to analyze and see how these two companies responded to the coronavirus pandemic in their various action plans that they implemented in their service. I would like to explain what the online food delivery industry is in order to make clear what these two companies do and the service that they offer. The online food delivery industry is essentially a process of buying or ordering food through an online platform or an application that you download on your smartphone. The logistics of delivering food from the restaurant to your house or to the place where you are is the hard part of doing. Is how they innovate on the food delivery industry. They made it online and they made it into a digital format. Uber Eats is one of the biggest companies in the online food delivery industry, and as we know, it's an extension of Uber. Uber is the ride-sharing company that is known worldwide and is known to be one of the most successful companies. It could be, and is one of the most successful companies in the ride-sharing industry. But going back to the online food delivery industry, Uber Eats, in terms of their service, they provide a food delivery service. Their value proposition as to how they help small businesses and how they benefit the end consumer is not really that complicated, in the sense that they only pick up food from your favorite restaurant and it gets delivered to your location. And that is how their value proposition. They help small restaurants by providing more customers to them and increasing their sales and their revenue, but essentially they don't offer much more than that. But DoorDash is much more interesting company, as to that they differ from Uber Eats in that they have a in-house kitchen place where chefs and small restaurants can go into, and they can make the food and it can be delivered from that place. And that is a great feature to have and a great advantage, and it was an advantage during the COVID-19 pandemic. Giving a brief history of DoorDash, it's a company that launched in 2014 from San Francisco, and they really focus, or they tend to lean towards helping small restaurants, and rather than just delivering food. I would like to go into now. I would like to explain what challenges the COVID-19 pandemic brought to these two companies. So as we know, online food delivery services is pretty simple to use. Or the app is really intuitive in that it is easy and attractive to order food and get delivered to your house. Pre-COVID, these two companies weren't as successful as they are today, because it wasn't as attractive, or it wasn't solving such a big problem that we needed to use their solution. Before pre-COVID, we didn't see the need to spend an extra $15 or an extra $20 in service delivery fees, which we could just go down to the restaurant and pick it up by ourselves and saving that money. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the fear of getting sick and not being able to go out, or not having as much, or not being able to go out, and that fear of getting sick is what made for their solution to be much more attractive and to be much more appealing to the consumer. If we think about it, consumer behavior changed a lot during the pandemic, in the sense that we now saw the need to get as much food as we could, or as much toilet paper or paper towels, and we said that that is a panic buying behavior. And a study conducted noticed that when when with the COVID-19 pandemic, we started prioritizing our health and our well-being over everything else. That was our top priority, and having food and surviving was also a top priority. And if we think of Maslow's pyramid of needs, we were trying to fulfill our most basic need, which is food, or surviving each day. And although everything is already pre-made and we have everything we need to survive, we start going into this panic buying mentality and accumulating as much stuff up as we can. And that is where Uber Eats and DoorDash come in, and that they do not only deliver food in a contactless way, appealing to our fear of getting sick. Now we have an option of not being in touch with another person, reducing the risk of getting sick. But they also implemented a grocery delivery service, which is amazing, and it is what made them grow so fast during the COVID pandemic, because now they're delivering groceries, which is a different market and a extension of the revenue they can bring in. They're appealing to a whole different market rather than just the younger demographic that orders food from McDonald's. Now they're appealing to the mother or the father, more to an older demographic, which has more money, and they're making their target audience bigger, essentially making more money, right? Another way that these two companies responded, and more importantly, DoorDash, is that they set aside $20 million to help small restaurants stay open and keep operating, which is helping the overall economy to keep flowing and keep functioning. One thing, and also these two companies provided health aid, in that they provided their customers and their employees with COVID-19 tests, with face masks, with antibacterial gel, and they also were donated various meals and food to frontline workers, as they saw it, as they needed face masks and antibacterial gel. I would like to conclude my presentation by seeing how important consumer behavior is to the success of a company, because pre-COVID, these two companies didn't have as much success as they have today, and that is one thing that amazes me and keeps me intrigued, and that's what I'm going to base my research on, until understanding what are the factors and analyzing more deeply how fear and how the COVID-19 pandemic changed the way we behave, and if those two companies are profitable today, will they keep being as profitable as they are today, or will we go back to the way we used to behave? With that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for listening.